What are you doing, Obi? Do you want to go home? Are you cold? Do you want to go home? No. You gotta help me. You gotta help me dig, Obi. You gotta help me dig. Obi. No. No. You're not going to. Hello, Obi. What are you doing? Hey, you good boy. What are you up to? So I've come up with a plan for the garlic. I've prepared a pot of soil. I'm going to keep them outside, but I'm keeping them in a pot. I usually don't like to keep them in a pot because in the summer they can dry out, and the amount of water, and I mean, you've probably grown things in pots before. It's a lot harder than keeping them in beds and stuff, because obviously they retain moisture a lot better. However, we have got garlic down there anyway. They're my main garlic. So these ones, because they're for experimental purposes, we're going to keep them in it and just see how they go and how they're doing. So I'm going to move them outside. I'm not going to try not to disturb the roots as much. I'm going to try and keep them segregated so we know which is which. That's the plan. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'm going to get these potted. And with us today, we've got Obi. Obi's decided to join us. Hello, Obi. What are you doing? I think he's got his coat on today because it's a little bit cold. Hey, you alright? So yeah, I'm going to get these potted now. Yeah, it is cold today. I think they keep saying snow's on the way, but you never know with England. Anyway, yeah, so because we're in cardboard pots, I probably shouldn't, but I'm just going to put the cardboard pot straight into the so yeah, hopefully this will rot away. We've got a lot of root anyway, so if I start ripping that off, I could easily just destroy the roots, and we don't want that. So I'm going to chuck these in, separate them all, and hope for the best, I suppose. So that's one lot, 12 more to go. Yeah, so these ones are just planted in the normal ones. I'm going to do the organic ones in the middle. They're the supermarket organic, and then I'm going to do the normal organic ones here. But at the moment, there doesn't really seem to be much difference between them. I'm guessing as they go later on in the growth, there might be, or maybe they'll just all be the same. Who knows? Oh, yeah, you can see the roots on them. That one hasn't grown. I'm going to plant it anyway. yeah, so the garlic are in now. They're outside. Fingers crossed they'll still survive. It's very cold, so it's probably good weather for them at the moment. They're getting the weather they need, all that frost. Hopefully, keeping them in the cardboard trays hasn't destroyed them, and they'll come right. I'll just show you them. There you go. So these ones on the right are the normal supermarket ones. These are the organic ones. These middle ones, but the middle one here hasn't grown. Hopefully, it'll come up. I'm pretty sure it will. And then we've got the normal ones here. So yeah. Now they're sorted, they're off my mind, because I had no idea where I was going to put them. I was going to put them in the polyton and keep them in there, but I want to keep that space because I want to do chilies on one side and obviously tomatoes on the other. And I thought if I put the garlic in and they're not done in time, then it's going to put me behind on everything else. So it's January, it's New Year, we're all eager to get going, aren't we? So, and the first thing you got to be doing is probably looking at seeds to plant. And you know, it's true, but if you start too early, they're just probably going to lie dormant for a long time. There are some plants you can plant and get ahead of the season, but sometimes it's sort of in a way pointless because you may as well just wait a little bit longer and they'll probably germinate, you know, just as quick and be at the same stage. The only difference I would say is if you've got like a heated greenhouse or you've got a heated, you know, a light or something to keep them under, then it's probably worth doing. There are some plants you can start off earlier, which will give you a head start. But you know, if you just wait a little bit longer, you will definitely, you'll definitely still get the same germination, and you won't be too far behind. Like what we've done on this channel, starting onions and garlic now. Well, we did them last month. Well, I started last month for the end of November. It's worth doing that because then, especially garlic, they need to go through that frost. Whereas, with onions, you could start them off at normal time in a couple of months or even now, and you'd still get an earlier crop. Whereas if you started them in the winter, then you might be able to get two. So I'll be probably doing a second lot in, say, February, and then so I'll get the earlier ones now, and then I'll start a second lot, and then I should get hopefully two lots. Or you could just plant them, say, in February, March, and then you just get loads together. It's entirely up to you what you do. There is no right or wrong to this. The only other ones I'd say, like chilies, if you've got a nice heated windowsill or something, maybe next month or even now, you could start them off. They're going to grow very slow because there isn't a lot of light, and chilies need a lot of light, but it's worth giving them a longer season because then you've got more chance of them, you know, growing. But even if you wanted to wait till it is warmer and you've only got a greenhouse to put them in, then just wait. Don't worry about it. If you want to get up to things, if you want to start doing things this time of the year, I'd probably start focusing on your allotment, getting your beds ready, feeding your beds, you know, looking at your compost, getting through your compost, tidying your greenhouse, making sure everything's nice and ready because once planting season starts and you're potting everything, it's a rotation of everything, and it can sometimes be a lot if it's left to the last minute and you're not organized because you're trying to do everything else as well as doing that. And then so you want to make sure you've got space for everything. Your beds are ready for when the plants are ready to go in. As soon as that frost stops, you're going to be filling them beds full of stuff anyway. So it's, but if you do them too early, you're probably going to, you know, get the timing wrong. You're going to get a frost. It's happened to me many times. I've planted sweet corn too early in March. I put them out, April, I think. The weather was lovely. We had one bad night of frost and it's wiped them all out, and same with pumpkins. So you just got to be very careful when it comes around to certain plants. I use this, I don't know if it helps, but it basically tells you everything on here. Well, you can get these online. I just, you know, just showing you an example of, like, you probably can't see, but it just tells you like every plant, and I'll go through them. So cauliflower, you have to sell it indoors. So if you've got a greenhouse, you could definitely do that now. Well, Brussels you probably could have started easy. And plus I've also got a book which the slugs have eaten, because they're hungry this time of year, of course. But also, going through all this, it's got all these on. I don't know if you can see them. And that's basically just the only thing you plant out really is onions again. Unless you really know your plant and you've tested it before, and it's worth testing because that's what we do on this channel as well. We test random things and see what's happened. So I mean, your spring onions, we've shown we can do them now, so that's definitely worth doing. Anything else, I would probably just wait a little bit, and it depends where if you live down, say, the south of England, because I'm located in England. In the UK. So if you do the south of England, you'll probably get away with it a few weeks earlier, a few months earlier, because it tends to be a lot warmer down there. Whereas I'm up a little bit more north, and I know the weather isn't. It's like a week or two behind, I suppose. So and the few degrees they count, and the last thing you want to do is get that frost, even in your greenhouse. If you get everything going and you get that frost and everything's wiped out, that's weeks and weeks just wasted, really. And then you've got to start again, and you'll just be behind on everything. And that's the last thing you want, trust me. It's happened to me many times. But so anything you want to do at the moment, unless you know your plant, or you want to try and get ahead of it, or you've got a grow light, or you want to keep them on the windowsill, and you just want to try them as an experiment, then do them now. If not, wait till maybe the end of February, keep some indoors, or if you've got a good greenhouse. And March is probably where you're going to be planting most of your seeds. I know some people, or most people, like to buy their plants in. They don't grow them from seeds. I've seen a lot of people down the allotment do it, and that's fine. Whereas I like to grow everything from seeds because I think you learn the skills, and it's more of a challenge, and it's a longer process. And what you probably should really start learning, if you wanted to, is to start harvesting your own seeds and keeping them for the next year. Sometimes they won't grow because you've got to store them for the winter, and it is hard sometimes, and you get a tiny bit of mold on them or something like that, and the seeds are then wiped out. But still give it a go, like chili seeds, any seeds, of your beans, your runner beans, peas, anything like that. Just put some aside, maybe the ones that don't look good or something, and just give them a go. Try and plant them before you go out and buy them, and you can start them off just a tiny bit earlier, just to see if they are, they will germinate. And if they do, then you kind of never really have to buy seeds again, and it makes everything a lot cheaper. And I know when you're down in allotment, it's not about saving money, because ultimately you're never going to save money, because buying veg from a shop now isn't really expensive. But what you're doing is you're growing your veg and your fruits, and they taste better, they're a lot better, and you've grown them yourself. And when you've grown something and you then make a meal out of it, there's nothing better than that. It's honestly, especially potatoes. But talking about potatoes, what I'm doing this year is I'm collecting supermarket potatoes, like we've done with the garlic and the spring onions. I'm just going to grow supermarket potatoes. So if it doesn't work, something goes wrong, I'm not going to get a potato crop. But I'm going to try it, because I'm pretty sure it will grow. So yeah, that'll be fun. So stay around for the summer for that. I just thought I'd mention that for you guys. But for now, don't sit there. If you're at home and you're thinking, I should be at my allotment doing something, I should be planting, I'm going to be behind. Honestly, don't worry about it. Just give it a few more months. Just pop down your allotment once every week or something like that, and just do a few jobs, giving it a tidy, sorting your beds out, shaping them out, maybe cutting your grass if you get a nice warm day, if you have grass on your allotment or in your garden, and tidying your greenhouses, because mine's horrendous, sorting your sheds out, just things like that, sorting your compost out, seeing if it has, how far along it is and stuff like that. Like me, I put a lot of horse manure on my beds through the winter. If I take it off now, I'll just get weeds, unwanted weeds. There's probably weeds in there anyway, but I'd get a lot more weeds than probably I wanted. And if they root deep, it just makes everything a lot harder. But you can, like, if I wanted to, I could probably in a few weeks, I could start digging that through and hope making sure it breaks down, because probably won't be using these beds till about probably, I don't know, April, May. So, you know, it's still got a long time for it to break down. What you should do though is you put separate, really have a separate pile. So you should have on your compost, you should probably have two sections, one for manure for, like your horse manure or straw or anything, any biodegradable stuff that you want to put in that. And then your second one should be the one that you've done the previous year. So you kind of like alternating between them. I'm really bad at doing that, so that if you don't do it, don't worry. But even leaving it for a year, or even over winter, is probably enough for you to then just top your beds off with that, or even just use for potting. Yeah. But you'll probably find you still get a lot of weeds growing through that because it hasn't gone through the full process. But it's just a few little bit of weeds you have to pick out every now and then. But it's always worked for me. I've never had any issues. Obviously, I am not a professional gardener, and I probably do a lot of things wrong. We all have our own way of doing things. But yeah, so don't worry about it. You relax, keep yourself warm because it is cold tonight.